Chapter 2, An Apple Surprise. When we got to school, our teacher, Mrs. Wishy, said, "You are going to have a great time today. We're going to do lots of fun things at the orchard." "Oh, yeah," said Max. "Like what? Apples are boring." Mrs. Wishy ignored him and kept talking. "We get to pick apples, see how a real cider press works, and eat cider donuts. They're my favorite." "I love them too," I said. "They're so yummy." "I can't wait to try them," said Jessie. "I've never had one before." "You always have such a good attitude about everything, Jessie," said Mrs. Wishy. "Yeah," I whispered to Robbie. "Not like Mr. Grumpy Pants over there." I pointed at Max. Max looked up just in time to see me pointing. I gulped. Oh no, the biggest bully in the whole first grade was not supposed to see me pointing at him. "I'll get you later," he mouthed at me. "I'm in trouble now," I whispered to Robbie. "Don't worry about it," said Robbie. "He just likes to act tough." But that didn't make me feel any better. So they're talking. There's Freddie. This is his best friend Robbie. And this is Max. "When we get there, do we have to walk all the way up to the apple trees?" Max asked. "I've been there before, and it's a long walk up to the trees. I don't want to walk that far." "Actually," said Mrs. Wishy, "you don't have to walk at all. When we're ready to pick the apples, Farmer Bob is going to give us a hay ride over to the apple trees." "That's a special treat just for us." "A hay ride," said Jessie. "I've always wanted to go on a hay ride. I just love horses." "Ew," said Chloe, holding her nose. "Horses are stinky and the hay is really prickly." "You're just a prissy princess," said Max. "No, I'm not." "Yes, you are," said Max. "No, I'm not," Chloe said, folding her arms and pouting. "All right, you two," said Mrs. Bushy. "That's enough." "Can I ride the bus up to the apple trees?" Chloe asked. "My mom told me to keep my dress clean today. It's brand new. My Nana just brought it for me from France." "Why would you wear a brand new dress to a farm?" Jessie voice whispered to me. "Because you're Chloe," I whispered back. Jessie giggled. "I forgot. She's a princess. Princesses don't wear pants." "And they don't ride in hay carts," said Robbie. "They ride in carriages." Um, no, I'm sorry, Chloe," said Mrs. Wishy. "Everyone is going to go on the hay ride." But Chloe stammered. "No buts. Those are the rules. And speaking of rules, what do you think are some important rules to remember today?" said Mrs. Wishy. Jessie raised her hand. "Yes, Jessie," said Mrs. Wishy. "Don't touch anything until Farmer Bob says it's okay." "That's right," said Mrs. Wishy. "You have to listen to Farmer Bob and do exactly what he tells you to do." I raised my hand. "Yes, Freddie." No screaming on the bus." "Good. Remember you need to use a quiet voice on the bus and stay in your seat. Anything else?" Robbie's hand shot up. "I know the most important thing," he said. "Great. Tell us," said Mrs. Wishy. "You should always stay with the class and never walk off by yourself." "That is an excellent rule," said Mrs. Wishy. "Why do you think that is so important?" "Because if you leave the group, you might get lost," said Jessie. "Oh, that would be scary," said Chloe, pretending to shiver. "I would not want to get lost in the orchard. What if they couldn't find you and it got dark and you had to spend the night outside in the dark all by yourself?" "Well, we don't have to worry about that," said Mrs. Wishy, "because no one is going to wander off. Right, kids?" "Right," we all said. Here's Chloe. Very scared. Now that you have all promised not to wander off, I'm going to tell you about a special surprise. "Special surprise!" we all chanted. "Tell us what it is." "Farmer Bob has set up a little treasure hunt for us. Cool, I said. Yeah, way cool, said Robbie. Even Max was sitting up and listening. Here's how it's going to work, said Mrs. Wishy. Farmer Bob has hidden a wooden apple somewhere in the orchard. When you're out picking apples today, you have to keep your eyes open for it. What does it look like? Asked Chloe. A banana, Robbie whispered to me. What does she think it looks like? It looks just like a real apple, except it's made out of wood, said Mrs. Wishy. That sounds tricky, said Chloe. Oh, if it looked different from all the other apples, then it would be too easy, said Mrs. Wishy. It might be a little tricky, but I know someone will find it. What happens if you find it? Asked Jessie. You get a prize, said Mrs. Wishy. What? Said Max. An apple? No, said Mrs. Wishy. You get $5. $5? Wow, that's a lot of money, we all said. So, is everyone ready to go? Said Mrs. Wishy. Yes, we answered. Then grab your coats and line up at the door.